The Acer PE320QK is a 32-inch 4K monitor ideal for content creation and is advertised with HDR support. So let's find out just how well it works and if it's a monitor you should consider. The 31.5-inch panel has a 16:9 aspect ratio and runs with a 4K resolution, so 3840 by 2160. Despite being more of a professional monitor than one for gaming, it still does have FreeSync available if you're using an AMD graphics card. The panel also runs at 60Hz. It's got a 4 millisecond gray-to-gray response time, so again, not as fast as other gaming monitors I've reviewed, but still decent. I had no issues with it in terms of ghosting, but I don't think I'm that sensitive to it. I've run the UFO test and recorded it at 180 FPS, but slowed it down to regular speed here. You can turn on overboost mode and set it to extreme, which should help improve responsiveness. It's got a peak brightness of 550 nits, and with my own measurements at 100% brightness in the center I got 357 nits. So I'm guessing it only peaks higher in HDR content. Otherwise this is fairly standard. I also got a 950:1 contrast ratio, again pretty standard stuff. It's an IPS panel, and in terms of color gamut, Acer note that it should have up to 95.7 DCI-P3 coverage. Unfortunately, my Spider 5 doesn't test that. I was able to get 100% of sRGB, 83% of NTSC, and 87% of Adobe RGB while in standard mode. Now let's talk about HDR. Acer note that the monitor achieves more realistic, natural images through an expanded contrast ratio and color palette using HDR Expert. It doesn't seem to have any actual HDR standard like HDR10 attached to it as far as I can tell, as it's not meeting some of the requirements. In HDR mode, HDR content did look better than without it, but if you're after proper HDR certification, you might want to look elsewhere. HDR mode prevents you from using FreeSync or adjusting brightness too. Aside from some HDR content on Netflix and a select number of videos on YouTube, there still isn't really that much available yet, but this should improve going forward. It's difficult to show on camera as I'm not shooting in HDR, and you may not have an HDR monitor, but basically there's just more dynamic range. You can see darker and brighter areas easier. I didn't notice any changes even while looking at the screen on sharp angles. Acer lists that it's capable of 178-degree viewing angles both vertically and horizontally. I've taken a long exposure photo in a dark room as a worst-case backlight bleed test. There was some bleed picked up on the camera, and I could just notice it with my own eyes in a dark room. But I never actually noticed any of this while normally using the monitor. However, bleed will of course vary between monitors. It's not all just about the panel though. Taking a look at the rest of the monitor, it's got a matte silver stand which connects to the silver plastic base. The stand can be removed by unscrewing the 4 screws, giving you access to the 100mm VESA mount. You may have also noticed the flaps on the side. These are optional, and there's also one you can put along the top. Basically, they're meant to help the screen provide you with better accuracy while working with it, by lowering external light sources and reducing reflections and glare. I don't really count myself as that much of a professional, so I can't say it really made a difference to me personally. There are some holes on the sides of the monitor so you can line up where they go, then screw them in using a Phillips head screwdriver. The bezels aren't too thick, around 6 or 7mm or so based on my own measurements for the sides and top. The base is a little thicker, but there are no logos or anything here like you'd usually see, giving it a nice clean look. The power button, 3 additional buttons, and joystick are found on the right-hand side towards the bottom. The joystick made navigating the on-screen display significantly easier. My only problem was that if you have the flap on the side, it can be a little difficult to reach behind it and get to the buttons. The back of the monitor is a matte black plastic. Nothing fancy going on, just a clean professional look with the Acer logo in the top corner. I think that the 2 2-watt speakers are in that section just above the stand mount point. They sound pretty bad, very tinny and distant. Definitely stick to external speakers or headphones with this one. The I/O is on the back toward the bottom and faces down. On the left-hand side, or right when the monitor is facing you, is a Kensington lock, power input, and power switch. On the right, there are 2 HDMI 2.0 outputs, a DisplayPort 1.2 output, USB 3.1 Type-C port, 2 USB Type-A ports, and 3.5mm audio output. Once you connect your computer to the monitor's USB Type-C port with the included Type-C cable, You'll be able to use the monitor as a USB hub, including the 2 Type-A ports on the back, and also the additional 2 Type-A ports on the left-hand side, which are easier to access while viewing it. As for the included cables, you get DisplayPort, HDMI, USB Type-C, and power cable. And it's also worth noting no external power brick is needed here. The stand is fairly big and solid, and does a great job of preventing the panel from moving around. Even while intentionally bumping my desk, it seems pretty sturdy. As for the overall dimensions, the panel only, without the stand, comes in at 29.4 inches in width, 7 inches in depth, and 16.3 inches in height. The total weight is approximated to 17.8 pounds, or just over 8 kilos. There are quite a few levels of adjustments available. There's -5 to 20 degrees of tilt, 45 degrees of swivel in either direction, 4.35 inches or 11.5 centimeters of height adjustment, and 90 degrees of pivot. So how was the monitor to actually use? Coming from my 32-inch 4K BenQ monitor, I really appreciated the thinner bezels and height adjustment. But otherwise, I feel like I couldn't really tell you many of the other differences visually. The panel looks pretty nice to me. I've used it to edit a few of my videos and had no problems so far. As for gaming, if you plan on playing games at 4K, you'll need a seriously powerful graphics card to actually push that many pixels. 4K at 60Hz equates to just under 500 million pixels being displayed every second. Pretty crazy. I've just recently bought the Nvidia RTX 2080 Ti, and although super expensive, it is capable of playing many games fairly well at this resolution. I've been using a 32-inch 4K monitor myself for a few months now, so I'm used to the size, but I don't think I'd want to go larger than this myself. For up-to-date pricing, check the links in the description, as prices will change over time. At the time of recording, it's going for around $850 US, but I did see it at around $800 while making the video. To be honest, I haven't tested that many other monitors with these specs yet to really say how it stacks up. Overall, it's a nice monitor, but if you're after proper HDR, as mentioned before, you may want to look elsewhere. Otherwise, I found the monitor to work well and look great, no complaints. Let me know what you guys thought of Acer's PE320QK monitor down in the comments. And leave a like if you found the review useful. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for future tech videos like this one.